Okay, my real dad really wasn't around a lot when I was growing up. We're great friends, but my stepfather was my father figure. He's an amazing human and I love him so, so much. And I was wondering, are fathers really that important to children when they're growing up? Or is this just something that I kind of fantasized about because my dad wasn't around?
I don't know for sure, but my gut says yes. Either way, if you want to know if something's important, what's a good place to start looking? Have you checked out the stats on single mother homes versus single father homes versus dual parent homes?
Only single mother homes versus single father homes. And there's way more single mother homes than single fathers.
Right. But have you checked into deeper stats, such as how likely a child from a single mom is likely to go to prison versus how likely a child from a single dad is likely to go to prison? Or how wealthy a child is likely to become from a single mom versus how wealthy a child is likely to become from a single dad, or how many kids from single mom homes end up in therapy versus how many kids from single dad homes end up in therapy. I haven't looked at any of these stats, but these are sort of the things you could start looking at to get a feeling of, is this important or not? And even then, it's not a guarantee, but it can kind of start to give you some insight or point you in an interesting direction. If I asked you, is flour important for a cake? You might say, I can make a cake without flour. I'm very talented and so on. You don't need flour, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. But if you look at the stats, the statistics, it would say that on the whole, in general, flour is pretty important for a cake and you're the rare exception. Mm-hmm. And that for the most part, it's an important ingredient. We shouldn't nuke it off the planet unless you want to get rid of cake.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of flourless cakes out there, but if you want to make a traditional cake, you're going to need that flour.
And even then, is there really a lot of flourless cakes or is there like a handful compared to the millions?
Oh, no. Okay. Well, and compared to the millions of cakes that require flour, then yes, there are way more.
This is how statistics can sort of give some insight.
Okay.
Like I said, they're not always right and it's not a guarantee, but they can get you pointed in the right direction. And if it turns out all the statistics say kids thrive better when they have a dad around or from a dual parent home or whatever, it's like, maybe we should be thinking here. Just like the flourless cake, you can find some exceptions. Well, I was from a single mom home and I turned out amazing or whatever. Right. But I don't know if those exceptions are enough to dismiss all the other statistics, right?
Fair.
It's food for thought is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah.
And so if you want to know how important fathers are, I would start Googling this stuff. I'm sure the stats are out there. I'm sure there's stuff worth looking into. But again, I don't really feel the need to Google them because from caveman times, I'm pretty sure the dad's been playing a major role in helping raise a thriving, well-adjusted child. So,
well, even using you and I as an example, you grew up with two parents. Your father was around, your father took a big interest in your life and was the traditional father role in your growing up. And you had all the things that I always wanted. But I do know that there was something I was desperately missing in my life for a long time. I know that I grew up very lonely and alone and really would have done anything to spend more time with my father. So based just on us as an example, to me, I feel like a father is very important in a child's life. And I know that when I was a single parent, it was much more difficult for me and my child versus when I was married and we were that nuclear family. So I don't have those stats and that data, but my gut also tells me this. And I ask this question because I see a lot of people online making assumptions about other people, male and female, about their parents. I watched a video where a guy was being a simp for a girl and saying all this stuff. And in the comments, they were like, oh, he didn't have a father. His father was missing this. And it was a lot more comments to that than I really expected.
Maybe people instinctually know that missing a father will result in this kind of person, or maybe they're just talking at their ass.
Yeah, like I wasn't sure. And since we had two totally different childhoods, I wanted to know your opinion. And also because I thought perhaps what I know about this is biased because growing up so lonely and wanting my father around.